Okay, students, welcome back to the lecture series of PHP. Today we are starting with chapter number 5, that is more with forms. The table content is dealing with checkbox and radio buttons, retrieving value from the list, validating and restricting data, and sending email. First one we have, that is dealing with checkbox and radio button. Student, this already we have discussed in the previous chapter, but again in brief we will see what is radio button and checkbox. So basically radio button, it is used when only one option to be selected out of several available options. It is created by using HTML input tag, but type is set to radio. So it is created, radio button basically it is created by using input type, but again we have to take input type equal to radio. It is a single control unit. Radio button is presented as a small circle on the screen. It is used when you want to limit the user choice to just one option from the range provided, that is only two states, namely true and false. So student, basically radio button is like a small circle on the screen. In radio button, when you will use radio button, the choice is limited. That means you can select only one option at a time. For example, whether the gender is male or female. So user can select only one option at a time, that is whether he is male or she is female. So the choice is limited. In radio button you can have only one selection at a time, and it is small circle on the screen. Second one we have checkbox. Checkbox allow one or many options to be selected. It is also created by using HTML input tag, but type attribute is set to checkbox. Same like radio button, we have used input type where you have to give equal to checkbox. It is multiple control unit. Checkbox is presented as a small square box on the screen. Checkbox have three states, namely checked, unchecked and intermediate. It is used when you want to allow user to select multiple choice. So basically students, checkbox is like a small square box on the screen, and we can have multiple selection at a time. In radio button we just had a single selection at a time, but in checkbox you can have multiple selection on the same time. For example, my hobbies are, and the option is given like playing cricket, listening songs, reading books, browsing internet, traveling. So this hobbies user can have multiple selection. That means user can select playing cricket also, listening music also, or he can select all the 5 hobbies at a time. So multiple selection can be done by using checkbox. But as compared to radio button, we have only one selection at a given time. Example of checkbox. Under form tag we are writing input type equal to checkbox. Attribute is checked, and the value that we have given as SYBBA. Again second thing, input type equal to checkbox, attribute is checked, and the value we have given as SYBBA. Again third thing, input type equal to checkbox, attribute is equal to checked, and the value we have given as TYBBA. And the last one we have, that is input type equal to checkbox, attribute is checked, and the value I have given as Samad Sir. So basically the output of this program, it will give you 4 checkbox, that is SYBBA, SYBBA, TYBBA and Samad Sir, where you can select multiple option at the same time. Next one we have example of radio button. Again this example we have to write under form tag. Input type equal to radio, attribute is given like ID, name and value. Label we have given as HTML. Again input type equal to radio, ID equal to CSS, name we have taken as attribute, and value equal to CSS. Again input type equal to radio, ID equal to JavaScript, we have taken attribute, name and value. Okay, so student, basically in this example it will give you 3 radio button. First one of HTML, second one of CSS, and third one of your JavaScript. So now it is in your hands which language you want to select, but again you can select only one language at a time. In radio button you have only one selection at a given time, as compared to checkbox you can have multiple selection at the same time. This is the core difference between radio button and checkbox. Radio button only one selection at a given time, checkbox multiple selection at a given time, and at last we have just closed our form tag. The next topic we have, that is retrieving values from the list. How to retrieve value from the list? So the answer is very much clear, that by using list function we have to retrieve value from the list. The syntax is given list, and in function we can declare variables. Okay, you can have number of variable, depends upon the user. So the list function is used to assign values to a list of variable in one operation. You can see the example on the screen. Opening tag of PHP. I have taken one variable, that is $my_array equal to array. In this we have taken three value, dog, cat and horse. We have just declared array with the keyword array, and under that array we have taken three values, dog, cat and horse. As we are studying retrieving value from the list by using list function, so next line we have taken list. In this I am passing three variables, $a, $b, $c, and I am just calling my variable, that is $my_array. So the value that we have stored under this variable will be assigned to my list function. The value that is stored into my $my_array variable is nothing but my array, and in array we have stored three values, dog, cat and horse. Simply I am just printing echo. I have several name and several animals like a dog, a cat and horse, that is $a, $b and $c. Automatically when you are storing this thing in your list function, it will fetch your array values. So the output will be, I have several animals, a cat, a dog and a horse. So the output will be, I have several animals, a dog, a cat and a horse. Okay, so students, we will just wind up the session right now. The remaining part we will continue in the next session. A quick recap what we did in this session. We have started with dealing with checkbox and radio button. We have seen radio button, we have seen checkbox. Again I have explained you the core difference between radio button and checkbox. Again we have seen example of checkbox and radio button. Student, make sure that you practice this example in your practical lab, because without practicing you will not understand how the code is working. Example of radio button, again practice this example in your practical lab. Then we have seen the second topic as retrieving values from the list by using list function. Please execute this example also in your practical lab. So I will just stop the session right now, and we will continue the remaining topic in the next session. Thank you.